this show on the road. Get back. No, you come up here. Come on. Come on, Casper. No. No, ups. No, Casper, ups. 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 You stay. You stay. Sits, sits, sits. Good boy. Going country, everybody. Stay, sit down. Sit down. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Evenings with Jade Casper. As you can see here, Casper's here, laying down in his chair, as he always does here. And I want to welcome our I think as of right now we have 22 guests right now with us. When I started what was the last week, we only had 12, but that's okay. We have 22. Awesome. We have 22 people following us. That's pretty cool, Casper. 22 of our peeps are following us. That's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you for everybody that's starting to follow us. And excuse me, we've been through a lot of challenges the last few years. Those of us, excuse me, yeah, working my throat. As I was saying, thank you back for our second episode of Evenings with Jade and Casper. And as I've been putting together today's show, I was trying to think of what do I want this show to be about. It's not just to be a podcast or things of that nature, but I was looking at the people that have joined this page with me, and out of these 22 people, I keep my circle of friends very, very tight. And some of you folks that have joined have never joined any of the other ones that I've started, the other pages that I've started, and all of you mean the world to me. And thank you for joining us, and it means the world to me. And I really wanted to make sure that this page and the journey meant something, and we stuck to some very strong points, and not just values, but something that meant a lot to me. So I came up with these 7 points of honor and reverences that I wanted to make sure our show stuck with. And those points and reverences are truth, respect, love, healing, honor, responsibility, and hope. Those 7 points will guide everything we share. Our stories, our music, our spiritual reflections, and the lessons we have gathered along the way. Tonight I want to introduce you properly to the other half in Evenings with Jade and Casper. Everybody seems to love Casper, and honestly I understand why. But Casper is so much more than the adorable dog you see usually sleeping next to me. Right now he's being a ham. But he is much more than a service dog, my companion, my protector, my buddy. Oftentimes seems like he's my partner, but I have my wonderful wife for that. He has been with me since he was a puppy, since he was 6, 7, 8 weeks old. Tonight I want to explain how he communicates with me, how he alerts may work, and why an ordinary lick or a paw can sometimes carry an extraordinary measure. I am still having communication problems because of my seizures and medication, so please bear with me. And before I get much further, I made a post earlier, and you guys are probably wondering about this. My wife Jen didn't even know about this, and I had to order some more parts about this. And you guys probably seen this on Facebook, but here is the rattle that Mr. Casper chewed up. As you folks know, I make Native American style instruments, and this is the rattle made out of deer hide. I had it made for about, I don't know, not even a week. Well, it makes in doggy world it makes sense. It's made out of rawhide and a stick. Well, I left it lying around in doggy reach, and I came back and he was chewing on it. So we buy him treats, and well, shall you say, I couldn't get mad at him, so I had to go buy some more supplies, and I will be putting on some new parts on it today, or not today, but in the near future. So thought I'd fill that in before. Can't complain. And in fact, after that happened, I wrote a song about can't remember exactly the title. My brain is being like it is, but I wrote a song about I am just a dog. So I am working on my first album. I actually have over half the songs I already wrote, and I just have to get my booty into the studio and create them. But between getting my health on order and right now filling some instruments, the good Lord blessed me with learning how to make instruments and part of my rehabilitation, and I am honored to make some of them for some people, and part of that is also making music. So I'm working on all of this, and a year ago I could barely get out of bed and talk, so this is a huge blessing. So, and I am blessed to share this, and the story is part of my story. So, and I'm sharing it with the people that have been part of my life and part of my story, and that is you folks, my tight circle. That was the plan, was to invite you folks, my circle of trust, the folks that have been following me and supporting me. Those are the folks that I've been wanting to share my story with. So here, this is just the beginning. And part of it starts with this creation that God created. And he creates some dogs to be service animals, and how he does it is just amazing. So let's get to it. Casper has been beside me since he was a puppy, like I mentioned, and this is all the life he knows. He doesn't know any about her. He did not just suddenly arrive after my health challenges began, and he received a written explanation on what was happening, and we learned together. As he grew, he watched me. He learned the way I normally move, speak, breathe, sit, and responded to the world around me. Dogs pay attention to things that most human beings overlook. They notice changes in our posture, facial expressions, movement, breathing, voice, and behavior. Casper has spent years learning what is normal for me. Because of that, he also recognizes when something is changing. Wait a second. Never mind. Our relationship has not been built in a single training session. It developed through time, repetition, trust, and living beside one another every day. I learned his language while he learned mine. How can a dog know? People naturally wonder, how can Casper know when something is happening inside my body? Wait a second. Hello? Oh. Dogs have an extraordinary sense of smell. I just had a moment, so this is what happens to my brain. So that just gives you an idea of, if he alerts, then I'll have to stop, but give me a second. I have the air conditioner off, so the mics don't backfeed, but it's getting warm in here, and heat is a sensitivity of mine, so I start feeling a little off, but I'm starting to skip a little bit. That's what I call skipping. My brain kind of overheats. But dogs have an extraordinary sense of smell. Our bodies release tiny chemical compounds through our breath, skin, and sweat. Research has found evidence that seizures can be associated with a distinctive change in body odor that some dogs can recognize. Casper may also notice extremely small changes in my breathing, movement, posture, attention, or behavior before I consciously recognize them myself. It may not be only one thing. He may be putting something small clues together, a scent, a movement, a change in my voice, or something else that science has not completely identified. You can't see him right now, but he's down at my feet. He keeps looking up at me. Scientists cannot promise that every dog can predict every seizure, and I would never claim that Casper replaces medical care, medication, or the guidance of my doctors. I have talked to multiple doctors, and I've had other dogs that can recognize my medical conditions. So some dogs can't. I had some other hunting dogs that could hunt great but could not pick up my seizures. What I can tell you truthfully is what I have repeatedly experienced. Casper recognizes changes associated with my seizures and autonomic crashes, and he has developed clear and consistent ways of getting my attention. Oh boy, can he be persistent. And anybody around him knows that. That is where science meets the personal bond between a dog and his handler. And this is where we get into Casper language. And it's so unique. It's not really, it's awesome. And one time I didn't know this is when I first started walking with him this summer when things started cooling off a little bit, and he was very, very persistent. But Casper cannot look at me and say, Jade, something is changing in your body. You need to sit down and take care of yourself. Instead, he uses his body. He uses his eyes, his paws, and Casper definitely uses his tongue. A casual lick can a casual lick can simply mean affection. He is a loving dog after all. I mean, he likes to lick his face, give kisses like any other dog. But persistent licking of my hand. See, the thing is, he'll look everybody, hi and everything like that, but he's different with me. But persistent licking of my hand, because it usually licks like the back of my hand here, or my back, or my paw, or back of my arm here. My caregivers and my nurses, they've seen it. They've seen the alerts. A lot of times they see it before I do, because if I'm going into a seizure from focaling out, I'm not feeling right. I'm dazing out, and a lot of times he'll alert, and I'm not quite catching it as fast as other people are, So my caregivers or my nurses will be like, did he just alert? And I'm thinking, because for one, keep in mind, I don't want to have a seizure. And Casper will oftentimes alert me more than once, but not more than that. So I'm looking for like a confirmation. I'm like, okay, did he alert me? Okay, now I'm looking for another thing. Okay, am I starting to have problems talking? Am I starting to feel dizzy? So if one of my caregivers say, did he alert? And I'm thinking, yeah, he just did. He just alerted, darn it. To someone else that does not understand what he is doing, it might just be annoying. It might look as though he is overly excited, being silly, or simply being demanding. But I am his handler. I know the difference between Casper saying, love me, Casper saying, I want something, and Casper saying, something is wrong. The meaning is found in the pattern, where he licks me, how focused he becomes, how persistent he is, and what he does next. There is times when his persistence has warned me about a seizure or autonomic crash before I completely understood what my own body was telling me. That warning gives me an opportunity to stop what I am doing, sit or lie down, get somewhere safe, pay attention to my symptoms, and let Jen or my caregiver know what I may need help in. Sorry about I'm having problems with my words. His alerts do not make my medical conditions disappear. They give me valuable time and another layer of awareness. In other words, they allow me to be safe. And not only that, if I don't push myself with these conditions, they allow me. They don't get worse, because when you push yourself when you're sick, your conditions oftentimes get worse because you're pushing yourself. So my condition has gotten better since I have listened to myself. During or after an episode, Casper may remain very close. He may lick my face, stay against my body, or settle into what I call his care position. And I cannot tell you what that means. I mean, it's I don't wear a cowboy hat, so I'm looking into my monitor right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my cowboy hat's crooked. But coming out of a seizure or during a seizure, you can't speak. It's scary. It's dark. It's it's just scary, and having something or somebody, something, and the anxiety, it's called fight or flight, and especially with my autonomic disorder that I have, there's an anxiety attached to that. It's called a fight or flight anxiety. And it also often comes with the seizures as well. And you either want to fight somebody, and you definitely don't want to start fighting an ER doctor or a nurse, because they don't like that. And so having something or somebody with you that like a service dog that's laying up against you, when you're coming out of that, it's so comforting. And dogs do that naturally, and so Casper has done that naturally, and it's just been a godsend, and literally speaking, so it's just been wonderful. And it's just a blessing to share this. I hope you're enjoying this. So as we're doing this show, like I mentioned during the last show, most of the time when you watch the show like he is right now, he's on the floor. I got him this nice comfortable chair, director's chair, because he's the boss. When he tells me I need to lay down, I lay down. But right now he's saying I'm good to go. So most of the time when you watch the show, Casper will probably be sleeping, as he is down by my feet. Sometimes when I'm jamming out with the guitar, he's laying on top of my feet. That tells me that I'm playing good. That does not mean he is unimportant or what is happening. It means that he feels safe enough to rest beside me. But watch him closely. If he suddenly wakes, becomes focused, comes towards me and begins persistently licking my hand or arm, you may be witnessing an alert. If that happens, I may pause the show, I may stop playing an instrument, I may need to sit differently, get water, check what my body is doing, or ask Jen or my caregiver for assistance. My health and safety must come first before finishing a performance, and listening to Casper is part of taking care of myself. And those who know me, even my wonderful in-laws, which I love dearly, have been telling me, take care of yourself, you must do this, this, and this. And I am very stubborn. As a former first responder, it's always putting other people first. So it's been very difficult for me to, and I've been professionally trained to go, 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 go. And Casper has helped me listen to those warning signs. So I'm listening, folks. Please remember that not every lick is an alert. So if you see an alert, you see him licking somewhere, and I'm not, don't say, Jade, you have to stop, you have to stop. There are other things that I might be, there may be something else that, that I didn't, something else that I may not have done, or I might be saying, yeah, you're right, I didn't do it, or, whatever. So please remember that not every lick, not every paw has the same meaning. Casper and I have developed this language through years of living and working together. This is also why a working service dog should not be called, distracted, touched, or fed without the handler's permission. When Casper is with me, even while he appears to be resting, he may be paying attention to things that the rest of us cannot see. And this is true. Like when we're in our living room, he's often laying down like this. And even if you see, like a police dog out, a canine dog is out working, and the dogs, they're on a traffic stop, the dog's like this. They may look like they're not doing nothing, but they're watching. Dogs do that automatically. Like if I'm in the restroom or something, Casper might be outside the restroom, but he's watching the restroom and he's watching other people, just to make sure that, and but if I'm sitting across the way, and I'm sitting there doing this, and all of a sudden, if I'm just tired and I go like this, put my head back just to relax, if I do that, Casper's thinking something's wrong with me, and he's getting up and he's coming right at me. So now I know not to do that. What's also funny, if I don't let Casper know that I'm going to start dancing, I did this a couple years ago. When I started dancing, I think he thought I was having a seizure. Yeah, that was kind of cute. So, yeah. But anyways, let me get back to where I was, if I could figure out where I was. Where was I, Casper? So what has Casper has taught me? Casper has taught me that communication does not always require spoken words. Sometimes love looks like persistence. Sometimes protection feels like a wet nose against your hand. Sometimes warning we need does not come loudly. It comes through a small, familiar gesture that we have learned to respect. Casper does not know all the medical terminology. He does not need to understand the words seizure disorder or autonomic crash. He simply knows me. He knows when I am behaving normally, and he recognizes when something changes. Perhaps that is one of the purest forms of companionship, knowing another living being closely enough to notice when they need you. And Casper has been there. From puppyhood to the studio, through difficult days and new beginnings, he has continued learning, watching, and walking beside me. To the world, he may be Casper the Wonder Dog. To me, he is a family, he is my little buddy. And sometimes he is my warning system when I cannot yet hear what my own body is saying. Now, music from the heart. I would like to play another small piece from one of my flutes. Seems like this is picking up some more interest, which I am very happy about. Flute playing has become something very, very meaningful to me. Like I mentioned before, it's actually endorsed by my neurologist. Slow breathing calms the nervous system down, and it helps meditation. It helps calm the nervous system down. Helps with seizures. It helps with all sorts of different neurological conditions. So tonight I would like to. I'm not playing for perfection. I'm not even going to play a song that I have recorded or anything like that. Oftentimes I do play spontaneously. I'm going to play in Casper's honor here. A lot of my pieces I play is spontaneous, just inspired by my spirit. And I'm going to play what I named is my spirit flute. This is another piece I got from, can't remember it. My brain is giving me a blank. From Canada. I can't. Spirit. Oh, I can't. Tribal Spirit, Canada. I actually have a relative that might be related to them. Still working on connecting the dots of my genealogy, so still working on that. So this is, you may have heard me play this before. This is one of my latest pieces. It's in G scale. I do have it hooked up to an amplifier that I got through Blue Bear Flutes. I love Blue Bear Flutes. Blue Bear Flutes is a Cherokee-owned flute making company out of Alabama, if I'm correct. And that's where I get my supplies from. So I'm going to just play a small piece, and hopefully you folks enjoy it. Just a little something there. I really enjoy that one because that's I call it my song flute. Um, it has what's called uh, a bird totem. If you hear it at the end there, it has that little knocking sound, and I've learned to be able to do that with some of my other flutes. Um, and as I've learned to play, and I've only been playing for a short, actually not even a year yet. Actually, just about a year, believe it or not. So, and I make my flutes. That flute that I just played has a slow air mouthpiece, and they're harder to play because you have to. Those mouthpieces says what it is. You really have to move your air really slow, and that's what the Native American flute's all about. It's all about being slow, and it's about embracing the music and breathing the song, breathing it in and breathing it out, um, and for me and that's what I needed for my seizures, was to what they refer to as medicine. My new medicine, my new strength was being calm. Playing the flute is what I needed. I needed to calm down. I needed to slow down. I used to be all adrenaline, go, 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 go. And playing the flute is what I needed. I still pick up the electric guitar and jam, but then I pick up the flute and slow down. And there's nothing, it's so amazing. And then, but the flutes that I'm making currently is the traditional traditional Cherokee style flutes, that they're really easy to play, and pretty much everybody I've made them, they can pick them straight up and play the scales, right out of the case. So pretty cool. And a little closing reflection here, and talk about medicine. There are many kinds of medicine in this world. Some medicine is prescribed by a doctor. Some come through music, prayer, rest, laughter, nature, or the care of another living being. Casper is not a replacement for my medical care, but his awareness, persistence, companionship, and love have become an important part in how I live with my health challenges. I listen to him because he has earned my trust. He watches me because caring for me is the life he knows. And together we continue learning how to walk this road. I would like to close tonight with an original poem called "The Language Only We Know." Now I'm going to try to read this without crying. You folks want to be the first people to hear it. I will probably put this to music. Probably put it to music in the Native American style, like my other music. And if you folks would like to hear my music, you can go to the Jammin for Life channel on YouTube and listen to some of my music. To date, my favorite song is Spirit of Spring, but there are some other songs on there. You can see some of my earlier music that started out last year. But anyways, the language only we know. You cannot speak the words I know, or name the storms inside, but somehow you can feel their wind before the clouds arrive. A look upon my weary hand, a paw that will not rust, to others only playful love, to me a quiet request. You tell me stop and listen now, something has begun. You stay beside me through the dark and wait to greet the sun. You learn my breath and every step, the rhythm of my days. You request the smallest change and speak in wordless ways. Sometimes you sleep beside my chair, content and safe and warm. But when you wake and reach for me, you guide me through the storm. No title could explain the bond that years of trust can grow. The world may only see a dog. We share what they cannot know. So walk with me, my faithful friend, wherever this road may bend. Your paw in mine, your heart with mine, my guardian and my friend. Some of you, or many of you, may not know, Jen reminded me of this earlier today. I had a service animal, not animal, creation. Her name was Pepper. And back in 2019, we had to give her back to God because she had a real bad ear infection. And it got too bad, so we had to send her back, you know. And it was devastating. So not only did we lose a family friend, she was my service dog. We were up in Michigan and she was registered. And I had her for up in Michigan is a little different. So she was a registered dog up in Michigan, and I took her everywhere. She was further along than Casper, and so I already had her out in public for quite a while. And she's been to U of M, Michigan. She's been to many hospitals with me, and she was, and you go from, this is 2019, and here it is now, 2026, 6 years, 5 years. Man, put yourself in my shoes, having seizures that long, and not having a service animal, and not only that, having to put your own your own partner down, And there's more of a story to that too, and some of you already know that. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But anyways, that's why I want to tell my story. Not for sympathy but there's a lesson here, and for people who can learn about service animals, because they're wonderful. A lot of people, there's Facebook, but they're wonderful, and to help more people get diagnosed for seizures, regardless of what type of seizures they have, and to and just the whole, there's a lot to my story, and I'm sharing it with you folks first. And thank you for taking the time to watch this. And just want to close with, thank you for spending the evening with us, and I really appreciate it. And God bless you all. I love you.